Yeah, I wanted to save this till the end in true sort of YouTuber style. Wait till the end and see what's, So we've got a bit of an announcement to make, haven't we? Why don't we?
And that's thanks to a new interview that appeared on UAP Files podcast with the Turkish fisherman who was responsible for the videos, Yalcin Yalman.
And this is him in a breaking interview where this man, Onur Bozkın, translates between Yalcin Yalman and Jimmy and his co-host on the UAP Studies podcast. The UAP Studies podcast, I'm so glad he found this.
I can see that we're looking in the cockpit. I was quite keen to see what we could get from the cockpit.
There's some good ones there. I mean, you can see. I was thinking because I've been going backwards and forwards to this because I knocked off so many frames, thinking we're going to find a really good one.
We're not, Peter. We're not live.
All right.
Así suena Ramiro LR. Corridos Epidemic.
The following is a conversation with Peter Osborne. Now, Peter's done a few videos with me in the past. We covered a case from Colombia from 2020, the sort of cube within a sphere. And then the next case was the Houston Lights from 2015. All really, really interesting, compelling cases. And Peter's added his special touch to it. He's a bit of an expert in improving the quality of vintage footage and has lots of really cool software and a really cool computer and has hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes, terabytes, in fact, of data on his computer from frames where he stretches things out. And anyway, we'll get into all of that. But today we're going to be covering the very famous Kumburgaz UFO case, also known as the Turkey UFO case from between 2007 to 2009, Yalcin Yalman. Now, I interviewed Yalcin Yalman along with my co-host Tom Vernon, UAP. That's not his full name. That's his YouTube channel, Tom Vernon, UAP. Go check him out and give him a subscribe. But me and Tom interviewed Yalcin Yalman, who disappeared off the face of the earth for many years. And we then did a debunk of a rebunk of the debunk from one of Mick West's dudes from Metabunk, the sneezing monkey. So we're well into this footage, we're well into this case, and I thought now that I've made friends with the awesome Peter Osborne, we might as well drag him in to have a look at this footage and see what he can do, see what clarity he can get from the footage. And Peter's got some pretty cool footage for you, some really good frames. And we're going to talk it through and we're going to get his opinion on the footage now that he's spent so much time with it. Now, there was a lot of criticism the last couple of videos that I did with Peter around his microphone. So I sent him a microphone and now his audio should be better. So everyone can stop complaining about his microphone sounded like it's a potato. Okay, without further ado, the following is a conversation with Peter Osborne. Oh, the microphone sounds good, man.
Yeah. Oh no. These are weird. I don't. Oh, yeah. I'm so made up, Jimmy. That was just the best. I couldn't believe it.
Well, we had all these people saying he's got this super high tech graphics card and he's got a great computer, but he doesn't spend any money on a microphone. I'm like, this is not like a super rich guy, he's not like some YouTuber with a Lamborghini out the front.
I've just stumbled into this as well, haven't I?
Yeah,
I've not,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've grabbed a hold of you and yeah. So
yeah, no, terrific. It's
awesome. Okay, well let's talk about this case then. So this is the Kumburgaz Turkey, also known as Turkey UFO or Kumburgaz UFO. This was a video from between 2007 and 2009. Yalcin Yalman, who is the guy that filmed it. For anyone that's kind of watching this, he sort of disappeared off the face of the earth seemingly for many, many years. Right. And then managed to track him down, and he gave his first ever long form interview with an interpreter, a really cool guy that helped interpret for us. And yeah, he told us the story about it and the camera that he was using and the lenses he was using, and answered a lot of the questions. Yeah. It has been one of probably the most debated piece of footage because it is so good. It's so clear and zooming right in. Mm-hmm. and it's been the subject of a few debunking videos and rebunking videos, and I did my own sort of rebunking video.
I saw them both. I saw the debunker guy, and then I watched yours. Yeah,
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 yeah. I mean, I've not seen any videos that I felt were sort of confidently debunking this at all. You know, the theories they were using were just rubbish. You know, I was expecting to go on there, and they used the Metabunk, which is Mick West. For those that don't know, Mick West's got this sort of forum called Metabunk, and he sort of suggested that it's like the gold standard of the debunkers, and you know, Arrow, the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, should use them to help debunk some of the cases. I'm like, honestly, if this is the standard of, you know, like I wouldn't want them to go near. But don't get me wrong, there's some good people in there, but I just felt that this particular debunk, which Mick West has said was like the gold standard, like he offered up this video in on Twitter when it was talked about after our video surfaced and everyone started talking about it again. I was like, well, if that's the best you've got, if that's the gold standard debunk,
he wasn't convinced.
No.
Well, yeah, I'm not convinced.
Well, let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at the footage.
Which one are you looking at first? Because I've got some. I'm having a look at the stills. So this is well, you sent it across as number 2. No, it's not a still, it's a video. This is number 2 that I'm watching now. So obviously we've got a few, and I'll stick them all up on the screen as we're talking. Okay.
So I'm looking at number 2, which is zoomed out and then zooming back in from June 22nd, 2007.
Yeah, that's where he first picks it up, isn't it? From a zoom in, or it kind of emerges from the darkness, doesn't it?
Yeah. So did you, as we sort of go through these, and I'll put them up
they
on the
screen.
screen.
Want clipping along a bit.
Yeah.
Because I did slow them down. I've also used a stabilizer. Yeah. Because you know it was bouncing around quite a lot. I think you see that more. But they are both. Yeah. It does jump around a lot. But so I've steadied it so you get more of an idea of what's there. But to be honest, first thing I did was broke it into frames again. Yeah. Because that was the most successful from the last project. And flick through them. Sorry.
There seems to be quite a difference between when you're improving light very bright on objects to very. I mean, this is pretty dark with a slight shadow, I guess, supposedly from moonlight.
That was. I pulled the darkness up, and I was watching them both at the same time, making sure that none of the detail was lost, and did it until they were both at the same level of detail.
So what are your thoughts then? So you're looking at this footage. Are you? I can see that we're looking in the cockpit. I was quite keen to see what we could get from the cockpit.
There's some good ones there. I mean, you can see. I was thinking because I've been going backwards and forwards to this because I knocked off so many frames. Thinking I'm going to find a really good one, you know. And I was scanning through them all, and there's just so blooming many, picking out the good ones, and I didn't really find that many I was too impressed with. But the ones I did, I popped them into the upscaler, like I did with the Houston Lights. And it was awful. Absolutely awful. Couldn't do anything with them at all. They look worse. Every filter I tried, everything I tried, I couldn't improve it at all. So I had to go back to a different way, which putting in the enhancer and trying the different filters in that. And I got some changes that I was fairly pleased with, but it took some finding, and it was really frustrating trying to pull out the detail because there isn't any. I know it looks an impressive video. I was thinking about it. It looks a really impressive video when you see it. It's like startling, bright, you know. But when you go in, there's nothing there to come out at all. But you're trying to focus, and it's weird, but it's like you're trying to focus on something that's in between you and the ship, whatever it is. It's like you can't focus on the thing because you're focusing on what's on the the aberration. Because like I know the guy was on about the glass or the perspex tilted, And I can see that. I wasn't thinking about that, but it's kind of that could be a reason if it's coming through, if it's off something like a glass,
Yeah.
then you're probably trying to magnify that reflection or whatever that tiny piece is. I don't know, and I'm just
It's difficult, isn't it?
surmising
Because the footage itself is not great. Because what we've
No.
got is, for those that don't know, Yalcin put his footage out there, shared it about, showed it to pretty much anyone that would be prepared to look at it,
Yeah.
and then disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Nothing huge, major. There's a bit of press around it, but after that, he went off and he was very open about it. He went to prison for a while, a bad business deal.
Yeah.
And he was sort of essentially sofa surfing for a bit and different places. So all of the original footage, the tapes and stuff, he didn't want to carry them around with him. And back then, ufology was, it's hugely like loads of stigma, and not like it is now, where people would be going over that footage and really, really diving into it and debunking it and rebunking it. And so he didn't keep it. So somebody had managed to get hold of some of it. It had been probably compressed by being uploaded somewhere, and someone's collected all of the different bits of footage into this one YouTube account. Which
Did he upload it then? Do you know that? Did he upload it?
I don't think that Yalcin did. I think he has given it to different people, and different people have.
They've probably taken a copy.
Yeah, taken a
second,
copy.
third generation anyway on VHS.
Yeah,
and then put out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they've collated it into this YouTube channel, sort of Turkey. I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Turkey UFO case or something.
Yeah.
Turkey UFO incident YouTube channel. So they're all fairly low. I mean, the ones that you were looking at, what sort of quality were you finding?
And the ones that I've met, the one that said it was the highest resolution. That was the one I found some good shots on that, and you'll see them on the videos when you go through. And especially one, I've done one. It's just the frames that I took as well, and I put that together as a short little animation, jotting these frames. And towards the end of that, there's some good ones with the eyes, or what's supposed to be eyes. And that's what I was thinking. I hadn't seen that. I've seen like an impression or something that someone had posted. That's supposed to be the alien's head, and then I did find it, but it just doesn't ring to me with it. It's the angles that he shoots at, the way it's just kind of fixed. And then there was the sequel, and I thought, well, I didn't even know it was a sequel because I didn't have time to listen to it. I just kind of got the footage and started working on it, And then when I got to that, I thought the lighting's different. It's right. So it's like the really good movie, and then you rush the sequel out, kind of, and it's just awful.
There's dozens and dozens. Well, I say dozens. I can't remember how many in total, but he's taken so many videos over the years between 2007 and 2009.
Yeah.
And some of the footage was assessed by, I think it's Professor PhD Zeki Ika, from the director of the Turkish National Observatory of Science and Technology. And he said in his findings, so he didn't say this is definitely aliens or this is definitely an alien craft. He didn't say that. No one's sort of suggesting he has. But what he did say, interestingly, was that it's not a model, and it was lit by moonlight, and that it isn't computer generated. So if there's some other conclusion that allows it to be not a model, not AI or computer generated, and somehow also lit by moonlight, so something that's perhaps outside. I mean, I don't know. That's what I found so fascinating, because that was the only sort of independent analysis that was done on it.
That didn't get the moonlight thing. I didn't buy that because I've seen shots of the moon that was visible then with his craft, and that looks more like studio light to me, or an artificial light.
Oh, interesting.
Rather than what the moon looks like it's giving out. That throws me straight off. I don't. It's a funny one because you can't see, and you see the heads, and you see there's one part where it looks like they pop up at a different place and then come back again, like they melt into the craft. But that could be. There's also a weird swimmy effect with the ship as that happens. So you don't know, is that?
Yeah. Where's the footage you mentioned, the heads? Whereabouts will we find that?
Film from stills has got.
Okay, film from stills, MP4. Oh, yeah.
And that clips through the images I've managed to sort of...
Yeah. So we've seen some footage out there, or perhaps not some footage, but some stills, where there's quite a clear humanoid-looking
Mm.
face. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that stuff that's sort of circulating around? Do you think it's from
You
this?
mean the ones from this that look like it's a humanoid?
Yeah,
I, I don't buy it. I don't really. I think it's a model, but I think I don't know how the size of it, but the things are moving like someone's moving them.
mm,
They're not like an automata or anything. It's kind of like it's a flexible movement.
yeah,
And I've mapped this over frames, putting them together, and you can see it. You can see them. They have a flex to them, and it's just the way it focuses because I can't get anything
yeah, yeah,
further out of that. And I've only had that happen a couple of times. And one was that other fake one I
yeah,
mentioned.
yeah,
But this, because it can't focus, is because it's trying to focus on the glass or whatever it is that's in between. I think,
mm, yeah.
you know, and going over all them frames, I mean, so many, and see, there's virtually no difference. There's a pattern to it. That this in out it goes, and then
Mm.
when you think it should be able to focus in, and I don't why couldn't he focus in better? He got that image so good, but then couldn't get that crisp because it would have been an HD camera by then. I would have thought
Yeah, it
it was
was a
really
very
decent.
good. It was, I think, a Sony Handycam, but it was like a
Yeah,
$2,000 worth of camera back then, which was just
that's a cracking
incredible.
camera. I mean, I don't know
Mm.
about you, but back then my
Yeah.
cameras were HD,
Mm.
and you could certainly pull in a good resolution.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it had a telescopic lens on it. I mean, he showed the lens. He
yeah.
sort of created this whole thing himself, and
Mm,
essentially stuck it together, a bit of a self-creation, um, completely
yeah.
unique with this telescopic zoom, and then it had like another repeater zoom or something. I
You
don't
see
quite understand it.
all that, and you still couldn't get a single, crisp image
Mm,
from it.
yeah.
There are some
I
that
don't
are
know
quite
though. I
good.
don't know. I mean, I'm using a telescope, so
Hmm.
I've got it here actually.
Did you
Not
keep that telescope you got? That fancy one? That's
free promotion, yeah.
God, I'd
So
love.
I got sent that. This is my only ever product review,
Wow.
and I've said people can watch it. It's the Dwarf 3 Smart Telescope.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't do product stuff or affiliate marketing, any of that stuff. But they contacted me and said, "Would you?" Or some fluff here. Would you like to sort of review this and check it out and see if it's like we'll send it to you? You can be completely honest. And I said I would only ever be totally honest. If it was rubbish, I would say it's rubbish. It's the only thing I've ever done in terms of like a product review.
That's
But I'm like, if
amazing.
you're going to send me a free telescope, I
Hmm.
will absolutely accept it and I'll use it and I'll give my honest opinion because I really wanted one,
Mm.
especially something smart that would track and, you know. Anyway, I'm doing free promotion here. But long story short, having used that and zooming in on aeroplanes
Yeah.
and stars and the moon, the ISS, and all sorts of different things I've practiced with. I'll be
Yeah.
honest, even during the day, I can't get a clear,
Really.
especially on a
With
moving
that.
object, I
Yeah.
can't get a clear shot of
Wow.
because it does track and it will follow it in a similar kind of way to this, where it's getting a little bit movie,
Yeah.
but I can't zoom into much better than what this shows.
Right.
I'm not sort of defending it in that respect. I'm just
No.
saying that I don't think even if you tested it now with a
Yeah.
similar camera, similar
You
zoom,
don't think you'd be able
solid
to do it?
tripod, I don't know if you'd be able to do much better than that anyway. And that's not because I want this to be real. And it's
No.
just genuinely, I don't think you could get much clearer than that on something that's several miles away. 10 miles away,
Yeah.
15, 20 miles. I don't know.
I'd love it to be real. I really would. There's just something in me that's just saying I can't buy it, and especially with the sequel. And it's almost it's pretty much the same, isn't it? It's that flat, not
Yeah,
moving, and that just hangs. It's almost like I felt, when you're going through so much, looking at the changes as you're going through, I was
yeah,
feeling really cheated. I was feeling like I hate this guy because he thinks I'm falling for this. It's like, I didn't buy it, and
yeah,
it's a shame because the little moving potatoes on it.
yeah,
Yeah, there's some good stills of them, some good, pretty good shots when you flick through it.
yeah,
And I got before and after, and it's pulled up some, but that was the best I could get. I really couldn't get any more. So,
yeah.
that doctor professor man, what was it? I'd like to see his
Yeah, so
how
it's
he
on
got
there.
his evidence. I'd like to see. Is it all there? What he said?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll put it in the description for this video, and I can send it to you anyway, just so if
Yeah.
people want to see it. It's got so it's Professor PhD Ziki Ika. There's other people as well that were
Yeah.
involved in it. So there was
Yeah.
an astronomy lecturer, Professor Dr. Adnan Oktem, who's a University Department of Physics lecturer. There's also Professor Dr. Mamet Emin and Professor Dr. Kerman Dosakt. I
Wow.
probably pronounced them very badly.
And they all said it's real.
Well, they're not saying it's real as much, like in as much as it's extraterrestrial or it's non-human craft. But what they're saying is that it's not computer generated. So they
No.
essentially say that the footage is real.
Yeah.
They're not saying what it is. They're not saying the ones I just mentioned, the other names. So not Ziki Ika. He's the first guy. He was the one that said it's not a model.
No.
It's lit by moonlight and it
Yeah.
isn't computer generated. And I think we can all agree it's not computer
Yeah.
generated back in
Yeah.
2007.
Yeah.
What most people are arguing is it's some variation of a model.
Yeah.
What I found most compelling was that he said it was lit by moonlight. So I'm like, okay, how do
But you look at that moonlight shot. You look at
Yeah.
the color of the moon and what it's shining on, and then look at the ship. I think, I don't think there's one of them together in the same shot, but just
Yeah, it was difficult. I mean, I wish that here was the problem when he would zoom in and he
Yeah.
would spend ages zooming into the object.
Yeah.
And then, so you'd start off zoomed right out and you'd see the moon over there and
Yeah.
then you see the ship there.
Yeah.
And as it zooms in, it seems to take quite a while and then it cuts to it being really clear.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people say, well, it's not fully zoomed in. And there was a couple where it was almost that. But what he said was, and it was kind of understandable, like you've only got so much film.
Yeah.
You've only got so much battery. And when you're spending all this time getting ready and preparing to see something and then eventually do see something, you're going to be low on battery. And at what point do you start recording if you've got, I don't know, 20-minute tape, those little tapes, weren't they, or 30 minutes or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and you're taking 15 minutes to zoom in, you've got a way up in your head. You're not thinking about in 20 years' time, 10, 15
No,
years' time.
I've done the same thing myself.
People are going to be arguing about why didn't you do it. In your head, you're just thinking, I want to capture as much of this really interesting UFO as possible. So you start zooming in and you go, right, cut it there, zoom right. I mean, that's his argument.
And very conveniently convincing. It
is quite convincing. That's the problem. It's like,
I get it. Yeah.
You could use it either way. If you're a debunker, you could go, well, here's evidence, exhibit A. But then if you're sort of on his side and you go, I think he's telling the truth, then it's kind of, well, yeah, you would do that, wouldn't you? Because you want to save the film for the good stuff, not you trying to zoom in and
yeah, I've done that. I mean, you must have done when you've looked at it, you think, oh, I've only got so much left, and that's enough to get the kids doing whatever. And
yeah,
I get that. I do. But also I remember the professor saying we zoomed in pixel by pixel. I did that. I no idea what. But if it was real, if it was really there, then there wouldn't be any change, would there? There wouldn't be any. It'd be because it was there. Yeah. It's still part of that footage rather than something that's been laid over.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah, it is a difficult one, isn't it? It's a difficult one. It's one of those that we unfortunately haven't got the original.
No.
And as far as I know, nobody seems to have any of the originals.
No.
It would be great if we did, wouldn't it? Because we could give it to you, Peter. And
it would be that would be so good.
It would be good. Okay, well, look, that's cool. I'm sensing from you that you're not 100% convinced, and that's absolutely fine. All opinions are welcome on the UAP files.
You got that gist.
Yeah, I still think. Look, I'll put my hands up.
I know you. You think,
I'm totally. If people have got a difference of opinion from me, that's completely fine. I think it's one of the best. Until we get the best original footage, and we can look at that and say, definitely not. Or we've got a good debunk for it, which at the moment we haven't. We've got a lot of this doesn't seem to make sense, or that doesn't seem to make it doesn't look quite right. And then we've got the lab that tested some of the footage and said not a model, moonlit. So I don't know. I'm still slightly over the fence.
Model. I don't know how they could say not a model.
My guess would be that they said it was lit by moonlight. That's my only guess. So
which you can easily do in the same place, couldn't you? You could recreate that if you wasn't in the right. You could recreate that moonlight even in the same on that same evening if it wasn't just to give it that, Jerry Anderson style thinking.
Yeah, maybe.
I could.
I would only imagine that they did some tests and they think it's not studio lighting and that it's the moonlight. So therefore, it could be a model, but it would have to be, I don't know, on a helium light and then sent across, a couple miles out and then trying to film. I don't know. That's just a guess. I don't know how they know it's lit by moon or how he believed it was lit by moonlight. That professor. But I can only.
They're not moving. It doesn't. There's no. It's just that, isn't it? There's nothing else.
Yeah.
To show.
Well, here, Peter, this is why there is so much debate over all of these. How many years? 2007 to 2024. Yeah. 2024.
And all the circumstances of the lost and the imprisonment and the.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to have to be unresolved, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can we talk about? So you've got a bit of a. I wanted to save this till the end in a true sort of YouTuber style. Wait till the end and see what's So we've got a bit of an announcement to make. I mean, why don't you jump on that?
Well, yes, due to overwhelming pressure, decided to put my findings on a YouTube channel.
And what is the name of said YouTube channel, Peter?
I can't remember.
Oh my goodness, Peter! This is the grand reveal. This is the ta-da. We'll put it up on the screen, Peter. We'll put it up. What's the name of the YouTube channel?
That was so good. You did all that. It was blooming brilliant. And as soon as we saw Truth in Focus.
So Truth in Focus. Truth in Focus. What's the tag? So if they want to search for you. Would it be at Truth in Focus or?
I don't know about all that.
Oh, Peter.
I know. Sorry. What do I have to do something like that with it? So I've got it's on my existing channel. So I've put my other stuff in a playlist, colorizing, and then this.
Okay, well we'll sell it to people. If you want an authentic non-YouTuber who's going to be open and honest with you and not fluff it up like some sort of flamboyant YouTuber, then
raw
and honest.
Well, I've been thinking some good ways of presenting, keeping people in the context of it, so they're kind of more involved with the shot instead of just seeing like there's a UFO, there's another one, is it or not? Do some from I found a folder, all right, of Houston lights that I'd moved. It's 997 gigabytes. That's nearly a terabyte of right, and it's just one lot of footage, and each one is about 1.7 gig, each picture. Wow. So they're fantastic. So you get from the ground floor, street light, houses, whatever, shops, and then I'll record this zooming in, right in, and it can get as right in as the close as the pictures I sent you, the amoebas and the God knows what. And while I was recording some of that footage for you, I found there's some other stuff going on at the sides. While I'm doing this, I've got to get them. Abyss, it's the Abyss. That is what it is. Yeah. They even do that shimmer thing, but it's not just like one or two. They all do this. There's a narrative, which is.
Yeah. Well, I think your first episode sounds like it would be good to be Houston Lights.
So I'll do a little introduction video, and then I'll do a Houston one specific.
Super.
Say why it's
on.
Just brilliant. No waffle. I'm just get straight to it so I can post the stuff. I want to get it out there so people can have a look and decide, because I can't look at that picture without this happening, without doing anything. It's there, and it's
So if people want to go over, and I think if you've enjoyed this, I mean, we've had a lot of fun looking at the case from Colombia, the 2021. We were looking at this, obviously this one we're just talking about now, which is the Houston Lights from 2016, 2015. When was it? 2016, I think it was. 2015, MUFON case from 2015.
9 years. Yes, that's right.
And obviously this Kumburgaz case now. If you want to, I think you should. I think everybody was saying before, start a YouTube channel. So Truth in Focus. I'll put the details in the comments and up on the screen now.
And it'll be investigations of whichever way possible to bring out the best of what's there. that you haven't seen before, like with the Houston lights and with the cockpit one. You know, no one had gone in that close and kept it as good as that through. Not that I'd seen.
Yeah.
And so instead of sitting on them, thank you, Jimmy, for bringing that out and for my wonderful microphone. So I'm not talking through my
welcome.
potato anymore. Which is
I know
wonderful
people
comment.
are so mean, aren't
that.
they?
Oh, that's so
for
funny.
someone that
Kill me.
spends so much money on a graphics card, or for someone that does so much work in tech and improving things, you'd think he'd not use a potato microphone. I was like, oh, that's so mean. So mean.
There we go, the old rocker. I love it. It's so funny. There was that Pink Floyd t-shirt. That's like 30 years ago when I saw them.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's really good, actually. Douglas Adams opened Wish You Were Here. He's dead. He died about 3 months after, I think.
Bless. Good times, eh?
Yeah.
Good times.
Super.
Okay, Peter. Well, nice one, mate. Thank you so much for that.
Tip
really
top.
appreciate it. It was really interesting, and I always love talking about this case. It's one of my favourites. Really is. So,
and it's a tough one. It's a tough one to.
Yeah.
There's only so much we can get out of it, and there's only so much information we can get from them.
Yeah, I think this was always going to be the most difficult one, wasn't it? Because it's such a low resolution, and and we just haven't.
But looks so spectacular. When you see it, it's so spectacular to see that. I thought, I can't wait to get into that. I was so disappointed. I mean, I think I sent you some of the. This is what happens when it's not right. It goes way worse than that. I mean, there's no way you can say it's like the other photos I've done. They haven't gone wrong. You know, it's not. If there is a wrong in there, it's like it's in context. It goes throughout, not just whatever. It's like, it's.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Peter. I think everyone should go over right now to.
No, they're not done it yet. It's not.
We're not, Peter. We're not live.
All right. I haven't done it yet. I haven't finished it.
See, this is why people will love you, Peter, because you've got authenticity. There's authenticity there. You're a genuine, nice dude.
Naivety, yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's, you're real. You don't ever turn into one of those.
Oh, when you get to, 59 now, it's like you just, there's no point in pretending, is there? It's like, I am what I am now. Like it or not. If you don't like it, sorry. No. But I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to seeing your videos, and I'll be your first follow anyway.
It will be Houston lights throughout, right, for about a year, but intercut with other, because it just keeps giving. And I am obviously each stuff I'll send you as well, because I want you to, and then pick if you want to show it or not, or we'll do another.
Absolutely.
It's going to be weird not being able to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And do it, because you just bounce off, don't you? You bounce off each other, but
definitely.
I don't know. I'll cope with that.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Tip top, matey. No. Yes. Okay, Jimmy. Take care, matey. Thank you very much.
Speak to you later, buddy.
Will do, Bo.
Bye now. Bye.